The final Tyros will now take to the stage to pitch with their chosen startups. Everything is on the line. Who will show they have what it takes? Tyro. In the last episode, each Tyro was grilled by our unforgiving panel of venture capitalists. Some knew how to roll with the punches, whilst others were torn apart by their razor-sharp criticisms.
I don't still understand the product at all. Sorry. Sorry. So I need to buy your hardware as your router in my home, and then you build a kind of private cloud on my hard drive inside a router that I buy, and then replace the existing router. Is that what you do? I mean, can you be very specific? I mean, you know, we can handle a bit specifics here, because this is very up in the air for me. I don't understand what this is.
William, thanks for the question.
Yeah.
By the way, actually, we are not building a router. We're building a data center and a control center.
You said hardware, right?
Yeah, hardware. That hardware.
Tell me what the hardware is.
Yeah, the hardware. The hardware is not a router. It's connected to the router.
Oh.
Yeah. So this one is mainly to protect your data. All the data will be aggregated onto this hardware, and with this piece of software running on it will help you to guard all the data and organize the data.
So I plug in a small hardware device into my router, and that has a hard drive on it.
Exactly.
Maybe I do an add-on. Currently, what they have built is a software that enables you to transfer data seamlessly and securely. So the hardware is at the second phase. They are on the way to build.
So where's the software taking my data then if it's not on my private hardware?
Now it's your PC. Now the hardware is your PC. And
so you encrypt the files on my PC?
Yes. Something because PC you don't keep on for 24 hours.
My Mac already encrypts all my files. I'm using Apple's file encryption.
You're using Apple's?
All my files are already encrypted.
Okay. Then we will help you to manage it, because that's another part of where we're doing, which will intelligently manage all your data.
So with the example you brought up, if somebody's running webcam software connected to the internet and they have the webcam's app, how are you protecting it?
Actually, our plan is that in the next step in our product, which will take the form of hardware, we will build a very strong security mechanism in the hardware, so that the webcam will not be hacked from outsiders. Because now, if you look at each and every piece, it's very difficult to
so you would need hardware, and so somebody. I mean, so right there is a huge barrier to entry. It's not. I mean, you sold a picture of sharing economy. So I have things on Gmail, Facebook that are getting shared around. But so do you need a piece of hardware in order to protect it?
Yeah, our hardware will download all the data into the local cloud.
But what about when all my personal data sits on Gmail and Google Docs? How do you protect it there?
Yeah, actually there are ways to download all of them into our local hard disk drive, and that's what we plan to do.
But people want them stored in the cloud because of the accessibility and sharing and easiness. So how do you protect that when it's stored somewhere else and you can't control where it's stored?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, one of our technology is to encrypt that data before we back up to the cloud. So in this way, it can protect you, give you certain kind of protection.
But a Google spreadsheet, like how do you protect that?
Yeah, actually, we for the public cloud, actually they say the data will encrypt, but they are not. Actually, we are using AES 256 encryption for all our data, which protect you from the hackers.
I type a Google spreadsheet and I share it with my friend, and it has my private information on it. I'm using Google spreadsheets because it's shareable and it's easy. How do you actually encrypt a Google spreadsheet?
Yeah, Vinny, thanks for the question.
I don't think is there a way that you can? Yes or no?
Actually, that part of data you choose to share. That's the first thing. You choose to share. So actually, the security level is not that high. The privacy level is not that high. Then the second thing is actually we are currently also building a secure channel to allow you to send this information without being hacking through the transmission part.
I don't understand how you would encrypt a Google Doc. You would require somebody to use your software, your platform. You couldn't allow them to use the tools that they're already using.
Yeah, for this case, yes. For this case, we are building something like a VPN.
But you're very misleading in terms of you show literally the cloud and all these icons and everything, but the reality is, yes, on your platform, if people choose to save data to your platform and the recipient user, I guess, has your platform, they can do it. But the reality is there's going to be 99% of data that doesn't. So you were misrepresenting kind of the product in terms of saying that it works with everything that's in the cloud.
I don't agree with that, because we have done market research, and actually over 60% of the users have concerns with their privacy of data. And
Yes, but your product says if you choose to save it on our platform, we will keep it secure and we will make sure it's encrypted communication. And that's great, and that's the product you should be selling. What your video showed was everything that's stored in the cloud. Like, people are going to use Google Docs, they're going to use Gmail, they're going to use Dropbox. You can't control and fully encrypt that data, but you can control it when they save it on your platform. I think that needs to be part of your pitch to show that it's different.
We portray in the future it will be like that, but right now it's not. So I think this is the part that he didn't get it, which is a little bit wasted, yeah.
I think since last week, we did sit down with the company again to go through the financial projections. Most of the questions, we have to prepare them for the questions that the VC will ask. We took more than 4 hours to put up the PowerPoint presentation as well.
I was actually quite surprised when I found out that pharmaceutical companies don't have the data to find out how their drugs are performing after they hit the market or after clinical trials. I was even more surprised to find out that these pharma companies are unable to get this data due to current laws and regulations. I found this startup, Heulin, that's trying to solve this problem. Patients are now able to track their health conditions, especially the chronic illnesses that have been plaguing them for years, 24/7 out of the hospital. Doctors are able to have new tools to optimize the treatments for their patients. And pharma companies are now able to get this data so that they can improve on their drugs generation on generation. Here at Clickstream Ventures, we believe that Heulin is entering into a multi-billion-dollar industry. This is a great opportunity for the VC firms to come on board this potential powerhouse in the medtech industry. Let me pass the time on to the co-founder of Heulin. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin. So, the story of Heulin actually starts a bit more than 10 years ago. My father, had a stroke while I was actually working and pouring billions in developing new drugs, which were actually meant to improve the conditions of people having stroke or having neurological disease.
One of the VCs actually asked, so what is your sales right now? So the answer was that we managed to capture one client, but we failed to fully explain that this one client is the biggest pharma company in the US. So that would have been a very big different angle in terms of the pitching as well. So another area that we failed to mention and we failed to highlight to really capture the judges' attention was that Heulin is a great company. We have raised 2 rounds of funding already. This is the 3rd time that Heulin is coming back. Heulin would like to raise some funding also, and this is for them to gain some runway, to gain some traction, to become a Series A company.
I mean, I think we're pretty prepared. I mean, we've ran through the pitch a couple of times with Alex, and we've done a few tweaks, and I think we've got a good angle and a good story. So I'm pretty confident today.
So we have a $3.8 billion problem that we need your help solving today. Millennials went to school where follow your passion was the go-to career advice. This generation of millennials are taking over the workforce. They don't want to be sitting in the same office all their lives. They're switching jobs every 2 to 3 years. They're always looking for the next thing. But career jumps are never easy, never have been. Think back to when you first started in banking, software development, newspaper delivery. Your first career jump was probably not an easy decision to make. And it's even harder for restless millennials. And that's where QLC comes in. So imagine if you had a way to dip your toes in before taking that dive. QLC provides millennials with a way to navigate their career paths with try-before-you-buy experiences, focusing not on the destination of the next job, but on the journey of discovery. So now I'd like to hand it over to Will, the co-founder, to share more about why it works.
QLC reinvents the way that millennials try their career. Through short-term, flexible, and remote projects, we help them sample their next career or life move using try-before-you-buy experiences. We match people to projects based on their skills, interests, and aspirations. We provide them the tools, the training to quickly skill up and ease their transition. And we also introduce them to a team and community of like-minded people.
Will's pitching ability has always been top-notch, and that's part of, I was always kind of depending on him to a certain extent to just carry it through this final hurdle. Like, I was never gonna be able to outpitch him. I think I did decently, but Will really carried it out. The judges were pretty good. Alex surprisingly just leant back and didn't really say much. But the other judges seemed interested in the concept.
With the Tyros finished with their presentations, they leave the stage to allow the judges to deliberate. Using their vast experience and instincts, they now discuss which team has the most profitable business potential. Only one team will walk away the winner of up to $1 million worth of investment. As the discussions heat up, our Tyros prepare to be judged one last time. The end of a long road comes to this, and future careers hang in the balance.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I now have with me the results on who will be the Tyro. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, our winner will get $5,000, okay? And there'll be $1 million for the startup that wins together with him or her. All right, without further ado, I'd like to announce our winner.
Go ahead.
And our winner is... Augustus Loy and Star Tribute! Congratulations, guys!
And so, after weeks of hard work and research, Augustus Loy is crowned the first ever Tyro.
I'm pretty happy and pretty, I'm glad that the past few months paid off. working late nights, going through the presentation millions of times. I'm very happy, very grateful.
I'm completely honored, thrilled, speechless. And I think, this has been a great opportunity for us startups. Also in terms of getting insights on how the VC approach the business and what they're looking at.
And with that, the competition comes to an electrifying close. Memories have been made, friendships forged, and whilst not everyone was a winner, with their newfound knowledge, the Tyros are ready to take on the business world like never before.
It's a crazy thing. So the finalists, all 5 of us, turns out we were actually working together very closely since the beginning. We organized an event to get startups to come and speak to us, all 5 of us. The 5 people who were at the table as the startups were pitching to us, the same 5 that came through in the finalists. So I think it was the fact that we were helping each other, we were giving each other insights, we were helping each other source for the right startups, working with each other to make sure that our presentations were sound. They could have kept it all to themselves, and made it a lot easier for them to win, but they didn't do that.
This is a very vibrant industry right now, so that's really, really beneficial. I think it's actually, for any startups that are watching it, just to kind of see the questions that investors ask, how we look at things, I think that's also really valuable.
We went through a lot of startup bootcamp, a lot of so-called hackathon sessions. People are just interested to build something and eventually become a solution looking for a problem. A lot of people think of ideas. Idea may not be useful. The key thing is that they have to be able to solve an important problem, a problem that people want them to solve. And then the solution that they think of must fit that.
At the end of the day, the ability to raise money is your ability to tell a story. Like, you obviously need a team and people building something behind it. If you can't tell that story and sell that story, then you're gonna have a hard time raising money. So hopefully I would feel that anybody that's watching this, they can kind of take away, like, how should I be pitching to an investor? What do they look for? Where could I kind of stumble and work on improving that pitch?